Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about some of the intentionality behind the editing of our new short mini doc, Battleground.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life, look.
So today we're going to be looking at Battleground, and I wanted to kind of show you guys just how I structure my films, and more importantly how I kind of structure in general a mini short documentary. If we don't have a good story in our film, then everything kind of falls at the wayside. And so I really wanted to make sure that the story was there and it was a really compelling story. But more importantly, I wanted to see how the pace of the film was going to pan out and really the structure of it all. So I wanted to use this time to kind of explain some of my intentionality behind that. So let's dive into watching the film and I will break it down from there. So going into this project, I've talked with Giovanni about their story, and so I kind of knew how the film was going to be in terms of structure, in terms of tone. It was going to be kind of more dramatic and more inspirational, have kind of that approach to it, and that would be kind of the overall tone of the film. And so one of the first days we shot, we did their individual interviews, and I wanted to do that because I wanted to make sure that we had kind of the sound bites to support everything that we are going to film over time with this production. So it was just really helpful to have those sound bites where we could start with those, and then from there we can kind of create the film around those things. The way I like to kind of structure my stories is to really just have a hook at the beginning in Act 1 to kind of pull the people, to pull the audience in, and to give them a reason to keep watching. So this could kind of be a powerful thought or a story from our protagonist. With anything, you need to give the audience a reason to just keep watching the film and to really just be invested. Like, why would you want them to invest in the first place? Well, you have to give them a reason. I decided to start with a story from Giovanni about a shootout that almost happened at their place. This takes place kind of in their old apartment because this gave me the opportunity to continue that thread with them walking through and giving a little bit more context about one of the most important places where they grew up.
He went to our back porch and there was two Cobras, there's two gang members. You see him behind me having the garbage cans and they got some pistols. And my mom grabbing him because he's about to shoot them. And I'm about 10 years old there, 11, 10 years old. And I'm thinking like, what the heck is happening? These guys could have got shot. We could have got shot in our house.
So I knew that we needed to take that story from Giovanni about gang violence and relate it to Humboldt Park as a whole. So I felt like the story naturally just progressed into more about the gang violence and more about Humboldt Park as that area. From the beginning, we have the hook with the story, we have the hook with the gang violence and a personal thing from their past, and then how that relates to the area as a whole. So I needed to kind of connect those two together. And so once I got that, then we could continue on with the film.
And so there was always gang fights, there were shootings.
There'd be so many shootings. One time they pulled him right here in front of my little brothers. He was walking with them and they put a gun to his head and they told him, we'll shoot you right here in front of your kids. That's just, people don't normally, that's not what you do.
So Act 2 is kind of where the story and the main parts unfold. Obviously, that's our middle section. So during this portion of the film, I kind of like the story to just kind of keep unraveling itself. So it just carries with more talking about Humboldt Park and them growing up in that, and kind of talking about how at the time they thought it was a normal thing because that's all they were used to. But with that growing up period, they had to mention their mom in there too because she's obviously a big part of their life, right? And so I wanted to kind of put those pieces together to go from violence in Humboldt Park to them growing up and talking a little bit about their mom and her characteristics, and then back to them talking about another section of their childhood where they had to live in a garage for a few months, you know, before the apartment. And I really wanted that point in that film to really hit home again that they had to fight to survive every single day, and really hit home the point of being at that rock bottom in their family's life.
It was the summertime. We had spent a night by the park. We had spent I don't know how long in shelter, like a couple weeks or a month or however long, but this was the transition from us to an apartment. So this was longer. Again, I said maybe 2 months of us being here. And it was, like Giovanni said, the rock, probably the lowest part of our family's life.
So from there, we kind of pivot to them transitioning from Chicago to Arizona. And how we do that is by connecting the dream center in that, of them having this dream inside of them and saying, hey, like, we should start a dream center, we should make a change, we should make a change in our local communities. It was important that they talked about that together and dreaming big and birthing something because, you know, they just want to help others who were in their similar situation. And to see the full circle of that and how that decision transformed into something more for them is really, I felt like, an impactful subject to talk about as well.
But I think about those moments, and I think about the kids that are going through the same thing. So the East Valley Dream Center was birthed as the idea of like, we're here to empty government housing. We're here to help the kids understand that even though they don't have a father, that God is their father, you know? We're here to help the mom understand like you're not alone. The Dream Center exists to come alongside the families and help change the direction of their life.
Act 3, the end. So in the last day, you see them sitting and you have the Chicago skyline right in front of them, and they're looking past that and they're talking about kind of growing up in Chicago, but really about perseverance. And so that whole idea was birthed like literally the day before. Like I didn't have anything in my mind about that. That was just kind of an idea as the days went on, as the shoot went on. Well, something I wanted to capture was, hey, this is where we grew up. The city made us, and I wanted to wrap it up with them literally looking at the Chicago skyline, looking at this beautiful imagery of Chicago itself, this place where they grew up, where they suffered, all those things kind of coming to a head, coming together. So I tend to choose a word for all my films, and for this film, I wanted to choose perseverance, because I think perseverance really pushes the idea that there's always an opportunity to grow and push through the hard times, and that we don't have to do life without any passion. Like we could have passion to live out our lives in a unique way, to help other people, to serve other people, and that's obviously what they chose as well. So after that, a very last minute decision was made to have them call up their mom and to get that recorded. And I think that just added something more to the film, and to especially wrap it up in the fact that yes, like what they went through was difficult. They persevered and overcame everything despite what they went through. And I think that's encouragement to anyone who watches the film. That's been my goal with this film, to make this film, is to not show, hey, like look how amazing we are that we persevered through these times, look how cool they are, but really just to say, hey, anyone can do this. No dream is too big, and you have to persevere through hard times as well, because everyone at some point is going to have to persevere. That's it in a nutshell. I could always talk about why I chose certain audio and the sound mix and things like that, but I feel like that would take so much time. I mean, if that's something that you guys would be interested in, certainly let me know. But for now, I just wanted to kind of take you guys through the basics of the structure, how I structured this film, and what it means behind some of the intentional aspects of the film. I just really want to show you guys that it's really, really important to have a story above anything. I mean, cinematography is important. Having really good shots and footage is really important to support everything. But if you don't have a story in your film, then the audience isn't going to connect with it. And ultimately, the audience isn't going to become inspired by it. And so I really hope that you guys got something from this. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, that was my prayer at the time. For you guys to, live the life where we grew up, single mom. None of you guys fell into gangbanging, drugs. Right now I'm happy where you guys are all at. I'm just proud of all of you, so I am so blessed.